you've got three different types of business owners, in my opinion. You have the business owner who is the entrepreneur that starts something. It's a proven industry. The industry's been out there for years, and they have the skill set to be able to go out and be able to do it. So that'd be like landscaping, contracting, could be a chiropractic, could be all that. Then you have the person who's the entrepreneur spirit that has more of the inventor piece, and they create new areas that have never been thought about before. And usually those two personalities combine against each other. And then you have a different type of entrepreneur spirit, which follows more inside of that world of copying. And that's where they go and they buy a franchise, because what they want is they want all the systems in place. They're looking for that corporate world to make sure that everything's in place so they don't have to think about it, and they can just, spin it up, and this is how we're going to run the business. Now, I've had the opportunity from my entire history to where I was raised around entrepreneurs and just kind of not following the norms inside of that area. So that was very easy for me. And I always knew I wanted to do that. Now, I also had the opportunity when I was working in the corporate world, being able to do some of the franchise. I did franchisor training and all that different stuff inside of there, and franchisee training, to where we worked on the franchisor side with the franchisees inside of that business. And those are two different types of entrepreneurs, or three different types of entrepreneurs, I guess I would say. And then you have a couple different routes for the mindset that's there. You have the ones that are, wanting to take a business and have a job, which that means they're working in that job every single day. Then you also have that business owner that wants to be able to create a business, but them not have to be there every day. They might have to be there at the very beginning, but they don't. It's not a job. It's an actual business. I'm going to start this business, and someday I'm going to sell it. It doesn't depend on me to be able to run. So when I'm going through and I'm looking at any of the business owners out there, those are the categories I'm looking at. And I'm trying to figure out, especially when I'm doing business coaching with somebody, I want to find out which box they're in, because the way they're going to learn is going to be different. Their thought process is going to be different, and their entire way that they're going to look at risk and being able to look at risk rewards is completely different. From your side, what do you see inside of there? And what do you agree with? What do you disagree with?
Well, I cannot disagree with, because that is something which is a fact. I would like to add a huge category, which I would call the category of freelancing. Yeah, is people like, I'm a specific. Well, it used to be SAP or a specific software product. I was a specialist. I got kicked out. Hey, there's still demand for what I'm doing, so I'm now doing exactly the same work, only it's my own company. Yeah.
Right. And I would say that's somebody that's looking to get a job, because they're looking to be able to just have that themselves. They're fine with that whole entire piece.
And there is a lot of people who want to become a coach or a trainer, or well, set up a bed and breakfast with his wife, or thing like that. So you get all kinds of different motivations and drives of people willing to do that. I have two types of training. One is called From Fitting In to Flying Out. And that means is helping people who have up till then worked as an employee, and now they are like, well, I want to do something else. Yeah, so that is the category one. The other category, which I'm addressing, I call From Flying Out to Extraordinarian. And that means is people who are typically the ones you described, Rob, is like, those are there, but they're like, hey, I've been running my own business. Well, I'm not a billionaire yet. I'm not making an impact. Okay, I'm earning my money, but I'm working my ass off all day. I'm doing method X, and then I followed method Y, and then I did these steps, and like, I'm still not making, well, in Dutch you would say, a dent in a package of butter. So it's like not happening. Yeah, so I help them and say, let go of all these prescriptions, let go of all these programs, and totally use your uniqueness. Yeah, and use your uniqueness in what you're trying to do. And most of the people, well, at some age, A lot of them is like, I want to do something good for the common good. I want to help people. I want to make the world, this shitty world, it's a shitty world, make it a little bit better. What can I do to help with that? That is a different training program.
Gotcha. So, there's so many. I mean, there's so many things you can do with this. Let's kind of. I know we've talked personalities. Let's talk about a little bit about the gymnastics of your brain. What do you recommend are some good gymnastics to keep your brain sharp? I mean, I know what I do for things. I like to read. I like to listen to books. I study. I like to do research. Those kinds of things. I'm a big gardening guy. I love to talk about that stuff. Is that what I should be doing, or should there be other steps that I should be doing on the fitness side of this, on the gymnastic side of the brain, to keep it sharp?
Well, the main thing, what a lot of people, if you follow the prescription out there, like you should do crossword puzzles, you should do Sudoku, you should do memory test or getting the phone numbers, whatever. There's been a lot of research that doesn't help a bit. It doesn't help at all. It only makes you better in remembering phone numbers. Yeah? So it doesn't do anything else for other brain areas or whatever. So all of those things, when people ask me, is like, oh, Arnold, you have some memory exercise, whatever. No, because I don't. It doesn't help. Yeah? The main thing which is proven to help is to work on something with purpose, something with complexity, and something which is a challenge. Yeah? So you really got to make this, well, actually we talk about brain, and then for those only listening, I point to my head, and then we think that's the brain. But actually we got three brains. Yeah. So
oh no, they're going to talk about the brain my wife thinks I think about with all the time. The little kid in me could not keep from saying that.
Oh my, Rob.
Yeah. So, well, what you were talking about is sometimes called the fourth brain. So you are right in a sense. Yeah. But there's called your head brain. You got your heart brain, and you get your gut brain. Yeah? We're totally not used to use your gut brain and your heart brain. Yeah? So that is what I also teach people. So number one is purpose, complexity, and challenge. The main things, if you want, I want to make a suggestion, Dean, about 3 activities which you can do to stimulate your brain. And number one, most people don't expect when I say that. Number one is be kind to yourself.
I agree.
I agree on that.
We all know that inner voice inside of us, which has even a name. It's called the inner critic. Yeah? Most of them, all of us, I was and still am to a certain point, extremely critical to ourselves. If we were so critical like we are to ourselves, to other people, we wouldn't have any friends. It's like, we're really horrible against ourselves.
I mean, I think the world has caused a lot more negative talk and a lot more anxiety. And I agree on that being attached to the gut, because I think there's a lot of gut issues that come from, that connection that they've started to figure out between the brain and the gut. So I agree with that.
Yeah, so you have to transform your inner critic in what I call an inner cheerleader.
So you have to be able to forgive yourself too, don't you, Arnold? I mean, you have to be
constantly.
Yeah, because we all screw up. I do it, and I go, why did I act that way, or why did I do this? And you have to go, okay, I made a mistake. Now I got to forgive myself, and let's go on. I mean, I think people have a hard time, forgiving. They're easier to forgive other people for their transgressions or their mistakes than they are themselves. Is that where you're going?
Absolutely, and that's quite crucial, because if we don't do these things, it's constant that inner critic and constantly like we're not forgiving and we're blaming other people, we're blaming ourselves or whatever. We end up having a lousy life because it's all focused around negativity, and that negativity stores somewhere in your body. Yeah. You can get cancer, you can get the stroke, all kinds of nasty things But that's because you use your body as a storage room for all your negativity.